Hey there. I'm live. I'm live. I'm live. It's Tuesday. Let me see who is in the room to join me. Hey there. Okay. Ileana. We are looking for Ileana. It's Tuesday. 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 It is Tuesday. There goes Eliana. Accept. Hello. You're unable to join. Excuse the technical difficulties. There we go.
No, it takes a while. I don't know what Instagram.
Welcome.
Hi,
We are officially
We
outside with VRG.
Oh
How
my
you doing? How you doing?
Great, blessed to be alive.
Hey, Stage to Sell.
Ooh, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Welcome, everyone. Okay, so it is officially another Tuesday, 11:30, and we are live from the Virtuoso Realty Group offices here in Harlem.
Yes.
Hey, Eliana, you had a really big week last week. Tell us about it.
Oh, well, I was in VR. Well, let's go back. My birthday was last week. 1 year older.
Woo! Happy
Thank
birthday!
you, thank you, thank you.
So you're another year younger, you mean?
Yeah,
Because, we're not going to add numbers to
we're not,
our age unless we really have to, right?
no, exactly. Girls don't, like, ladies don't add numbers. Respect.
So, how was your birthday?
It was great. I was in the Dominican Republic, in Puerto Plata, enjoying the beach and all its wonders. And yeah, I ate a lot. I won't say I drank a lot.
Well, we won't judge you.
Yeah, I just enjoyed my time with my coconuts on the beach.
Okay, well, I'm happy you had your coconuts and you had your beach.
Yeah.
So we're back in New York. It's obviously Tuesday. We are a week into congestion pricing. So that was our conversation last week. This week I wanted to talk about my favorite thing to do. I wanted to talk about strategic stalking. Yes, I condone and support stalking. Not for personal reasons. Absolutely never for personal reasons. But for business, I think it's completely important. When I use the word strategic stalking, for me, I'm talking a lot about as a small business, an entrepreneur, an agent. Yeah, welcome to East Harlem. Do you guys hear those sirens? Like, when we're talking about connecting and meeting people, we have to. Oh, we're bringing in Christian.
Oh,
When we're talking about connecting and meeting people, for us, it's important that we're looking at it different from a lot of other people. We're looking at it a little bit more strategically. Hey, Christian,
Hey
what's
guys,
up?
how are
What's
you?
up? Someone is a little sick.
I'm trying.
Stay over there.
Hey, I'm trying to keep y'all good.
Yes, we are trying to not stay sick. So, as Christian just mentioned, well, as I just mentioned, this is VRG. We're a Virtuoso Realty Group Harlem team. And this is our second live of 2025. We're going to try to keep it going. We're going to try to do every Tuesday, 11:30, and talk a little bit about something different every week. So today, one of my favorite topics that I talk to the team about all the time is strategic stalking. I believe cold calling is dead. What do you guys think?
I mean, cold calling is dead. And I mean, communication style has changed over time. Cold calling could have worked back then 20, 30, 40 years ago, but it's just not in anymore. The new cold calling is cold DM or strategic stalking, as you say. Let us know if you guys cold DM people. But yeah, cold calling is dead. It's just communication style has changed completely.
What do you think, Christian?
Yeah, I think Cole, it's all right, everything evolves. Everything evolves. So the same way we're on social media, we're on live. Back in the day, to I guess have a conversation like this, we would have needed to be on like radio at some point or something like
Yeah,
that.
Oh, you trying to age us? We talking
No,
radio now?
send
I'm
Oh,
just saying, like,
wow.
barrier.
like when you're just talking about people just literally discussing something, like a topic,
Hmm.
like, if it's not like a real commercial thing, it's not gonna be on TV. So like this kind of forum energy would be on radio, and then it transitions to social media, podcast system. So the same thing with, I guess, communication, and in our field, like real estate at some point, there's always the face-to-face door knocking or walking into a space. But when you're interacting with people you don't know or looking for researching a business or person, the basic form was cold calling. Like you would get a book or yellow pages and dial. And then
Hmm.
now, I guess our new yellow pages is Instagram. It's email. It's reaching out, specifically on a website, or people are collecting forms, contact me. So it's different because uh, people don't really answer the phone the way they used to, and then most people don't even have house phones. So like I feel like that moved away from this ability to like just call someone and answer and then be receptive to talking to a stranger. It's more like I need to kind of see who you are, what you're about, maybe what you look like, maybe at least what like city you're in, and I get all of that from like your profile, so social media. So it makes sense that like cold calling, it doesn't feel like it's a thing anymore because people are a little more skeptical to just strangers. But at least like with the use of social media, you're I don't know you, you're not my friend, but you're also not a stranger because I have some idea of what you're about. So
Yeah. So I mean, I think I'm just gonna set this point. Like I'm gonna just color it for kind of how I got into strategic stalking, right? So I'm gonna date myself. MySpace. If you ever had MySpace on here, me and you, we
I have
cool.
I have
All you other
MySpace.
young people on this call, you weren't in my top five.
Nah.
So I'm gonna date it back to MySpace. I lived in New York. I was an agent. I was trying to meet people. It's funny. I'm not a New Yorker. Like a lot of people, I've been here now 22 years. A lot of people may think I've been here longer than that. But I grew up in Jersey. I grew up in South Jersey, outside of Philly. Absolutely not an Eagles fan. Don't even Dallas Cowboys. But so like, yeah, MySpace. So back when we had MySpace, it was like obviously a jump off of Facebook. Facebook, you really could only connect at that time with people who went to your school. And for me, I went to Pace University and I was like, cool, it was okay, but I really wanted to meet people in New York City. I wanted to be more social. I wanted to meet more people out and about as an agent so I could grow my business. So MySpace had a way for you to search other people's pages through other people's top fives. And when you got into that, I started to like strategic stalk. I would look to see, oh, wow, who is this group of people? Like, okay, this person is in this image, then going to their profile, seeing who they are, going to like, you could end up in a loop, meeting and figuring out new people. But if you're going to be an entrepreneur, if you're going to be a small business, if you're going to be an agent, a commercial broker, like you can take that to the next step. Like, how do you get in front of these people? People are absolutely still cold calling. People, like, I got a cold call today from an aggressive guy. He was not gonna let me off the phone, and then I hung up on him, and he called me right back and said, "I think we got disconnected." I was like, "Nah, no, I hung up on you." But the persistence of that is, it's intrusive, right? When you call people at any time, you don't know what they're doing, you don't know what they're dealing with, you don't know what mood they're in. But when you strategic stalk them, it's really about, how do you formulate a connection? How do you build rapport relationships? A lot of people who are following me right now probably got a connection from myself or my social media manager because we thought something was interesting about them. And then we started to message each other. Then we started to DM, because it goes down in the DMs. Like, that song was the truest thing ever written, because, like, for real, like, if you want to meet someone, you're not going to do it on your profile. It's not going to be like, "Hey, how are you? Don't be weird." Like, I'm trying to see if we can link up on my physical profile. No, you're going to get in the DMs. So if you get into the right people's DMs over time, don't you think you'd be able to meet more of the people you want to meet, right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
guys give me a thought about when you guys have been strategic stalking, because that's a big part of our training here.
Yeah, it's more personalized, honestly. I feel like when it comes to cold calling, you have these scripts, and personally, scripts don't fit my personality. I tried it. It does not work for me. And when you strategic stalk people, you get to know their lifestyle. You get to know what they like. Do they work out? The foods they like. Do they have children? Their family, their favorite color. And when you're liking posts and commenting, you see, like, you get to know the person over time, and then that DM is more personalized,
Mm-hmm.
and you feel more
Mm-hmm.
connected to them as they do to you.
Do you
Yeah.
guys, there's still do you guys believe there's still 6 degrees of separation between you and whoever it is you want to meet, or whoever it is you want to do business with?
Absolutely. I think that's one of the reasons why, doing research on individuals that you're talking to is helpful, because it helps with one, you being a little bit more authentic. I can find out things that we actually have in common, and that way we can get to conversations that are a little bit more meaningful,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm reaching out from a place of authenticity, rather than just spitballing and then hoping something sticks. Like, I just kind of feel like we should talk, so let me say, "Hey, and my favorite color is XYZ." No, like, I can say, I know that we're both from New York. We both went to Stony Brook, and you're a soccer fan. So, like, I have that in common.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can find out, oh, you actually used to play in high school with my cousin. And then we talk, and moving from there, we get to a conversation about how we both interested in investing in Philadelphia. And, like, now the connection, the actual network that's branching out is more authentic. It's a little bit realer, it's stronger, and then it's more targeted, so we can get to actually making some sort of impact. So I guess, like, the whole point in strategic stalking is, like you say, Cynthia, to,
Yeah.
like, provide value, to figure out where the value is. It's not just like, what can I do for you or what can you do for me, but it's how can we do something together that is mutually beneficial, or it grows and moves towards a common interest. It doesn't necessarily have to come out to, like, yes, this person will do a deal with me, or they'll refer me to someone, but it can be that stepping stone to some sort of impact happening down the line, that wouldn't have happened if we didn't take that extra step to say, let's see if there's something real here, rather than just it sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a believer, literally, you're probably 2 or 3 degrees away from meeting the person you want to meet. Like, I think people just don't try hard enough. And I think also people just look at people as transactions. Like, my biggest goal in life is to just connect to connect. Like, if I meet someone, I'm thinking about a connection, but people make the mistake, I believe, by, like, expecting to try to move that to the next level day two, right? It could take years before, for me, I'm gonna, transact with someone. Obviously, Ileana, you met an owner in this neighborhood, I want to say 6 months ago.
Yes.
We talked about it. I stopped by the office. I met the owner and his family as well. And I had a connection with that owner because he was a Dallas Cowboy fan. And I didn't decide like, oh, I'm going to jump and I'm going to ask him for a listing and I'm going to ask him for business. I'm like, hey, when can I bring value to this person? Because we strategically stalked this owner, which is what we're talking about. So I knew that, hey, we understand who this owner is. He has assets that we want to possibly transact on, but let's show him some value. Let him see more about us. So a lot of times, pretty much after we meet an owner, they should be getting a postcard from us talking about, some of the value we can bring to the table. They should be getting a LinkedIn connection from us talking about, hey, this is me. Now you're seeing my page, you're seeing some of the work we do. Then they should be getting an email from us or a newsletter of value or a grant. Like if anybody is in my network, they might have gotten a grant that I saw and made me think of them. They might have gotten a DM because or shared a meme in the DMs. Like it's about building a relationship. So to me, strategic stalking and building deeper relationships with people isn't about meeting someone today and expecting to transact tomorrow. Obviously now we actually brought a prospective deal to this owner. We're waiting for them to respond to our deal. So hopefully we get that done. But again, that took what, 3 months, Ileana?
Yeah, 3 months.
From the moment you identified the client to the moment we've presented them with an offer. But, a lot of people expect that to be 2 weeks. To me, in business generally, things don't always have to happen next day for it to work. But now, like how many of those little things did you put in your bucket? A lot of times people feel like they're failing in their businesses because they're not putting enough of that in their bucket. And okay, I put 2 little owners in my bucket today. Okay, I'm done. I'm going to walk
Mm.
out. I'm going to go do something else.
Mhm.
How many do you guys think you really need to be putting in your bucket every day to kind of, to get to your ROI, to get to your end goal kind of thing?
I mean, honestly, every day should be 8 to 10 connections just to even start. You can increase it over time, but 8 to 10 connections is doable, I personally feel. And as Cynthia said, this commercial real estate is a long-term game. This isn't a short-term game, and it's relationship centered. So you want long-term relationships. You want to follow up with the owners constantly. You want to sometimes, Cynthia says she sends little gifts to personalize it. You want to continue that relationship as friends do businesses with friends. Period.
Yeah. Anything else to wrap up this part of our discussion, Christian?
Yeah,
How many
no,
people use strategic thought?
I think at least 10 people. I think that 10 is a good number because, like you said, you want to shoot for as many as possible, but you also want to be realistic with what you have a capacity for, as well as like where your genuine interest is. So one thing about me is it's really hard for me to do something that I'm not genuinely interested in. Like I can fake it, but it doesn't resonate with me, so it doesn't feel good, so I don't
Mm-hmm.
enjoy it. Therefore, I don't do it. But if I really feel like there's value and there is an authentic connection that there's potential, then it's effortless. So it doesn't feel like hard work. It feels like something that you just naturally are gravitationally pulled towards doing, and then it just works out because it's more of a positive exchange.
Okay. Okay. So let me set that. So we obviously talked a little bit about strategic stalking. Hey everyone who just joined. I'm Cynthia Peacock.
Ileana Ruiz.
Christian Cole.
We're VRG. We're in the VRG Harlem office, and this is our Tuesday outside with VRG. Yeah, it's corny. I don't care. It's our weekly live where we're talking a little bit about kind of some of the things that we're doing in the office, some of the things that we're kind of coming across. The next topic Ileana actually brought up is what's the difference between commercial, and residential real estate, and why do we do commercial? Who wants to take that first?
I'll do it. So yeah, I mean, let's start with I say I do real estate. People automatically think I do residential. I'm just like, no, have to correct them. So people who don't know, the difference between commercial and residential real estate is just what they're selling. So commercial real estate, you're selling business properties, for example, leasing or selling. That includes retail, warehouse, or office. As in residential, you're selling houses or renting out apartments, or even selling apartments like condos. There's just a difference in the type of thing you're selling. And why do I do commercial? I personally feel like commercial is fun. I love dealing with businesses. I love it's just a different level of thinking. I often find that residential is more emotional and commercial is more logical, and they just deal with numbers. I just personally prefer that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think
Christian?
yeah, like you said it. Well, the difference between commercial and residential, but I think what's important is why we do it. So the same theme as what we talk about with stalking is that or strategic stalking. Let me say that it's that what's authentic to you, what's real to you, and so to me, the conversation with a business owner or someone who is more of an investor, they're thinking about how this use fits their business, whether or not it has a specific metric or specific requirements for their use case. That conversation is more naturally aligned with me in the way I think, rather than someone who's choosing a place to live or where their preferences based on color or material or just this dream that they have growing up. So the difference between as an agent, authentically, it's a lot easier for me to have a conversation and expand on ideas about how this place can suit your business need versus me feeling like I have an obligation to try and convince someone that they should fit a mold for what their vision is, for where they want to live. The
Mm-hmm.
conversation with a investor or rather than a retail buyer is one that I enjoy a bit more, and that's why we chose commercial because no matter how hard it gets, because I actually enjoy it, it doesn't feel like work.
Y'all really being nice. Y'all really, really being nice. I'm here because there's a big economic difference. The numbers are different. Obviously,
Yeah.
if you're going to do real estate, there's a lot of different ways you can do it. Obviously, we just talked about residential real estate is a sale and a transaction around someone's personal asset, somebody's personal home. I love working with businesses. Like, it sounds corny, it sounds, cliche, but for me, a business's long-term growth opportunities, I might do two, three, four, five, six transactions with a business over the next 10 years, as opposed to just doing one. So, like, for me, I really enjoy meeting a business owner, seeing how we can help them either get a space, seeing how we can help them transition to buying their first asset, seeing how we can get them to move their, portfolios forward. Also, the difference in the numbers. You're going to rent an apartment for 5,500. I'm going to lease a restaurant for 25,000 or 30,000 or 40,000. It depends on the transaction, obviously. And so, to me, if you're more passionate about something that has longevity, something that has growth that can happen over the next 5, 10 years of being in this business, then commercial real estate possibly makes more sense as opposed to residential. Shout out to one of the best cafe owners who is on our live right now in our DMs. If you haven't been, you got to try Delaria in Harlem. It's on 111th Street between 3rd and 2nd Avenue. Best Italian coffee you could ever have. Also, I believe it's in the plaza, right?
Yes, it's in the plaza
And
and
it's
then East,
Saks or something.
something like
Well,
Yeah,
shout
and
out
I
to
mean,
Delaria.
I think another thing, just very impressive space, which is another reason why we like using doing commercial real estate because some of the way that some of these owners are able to transform a raw space into a place that looks like Delaria is like it's really
Yeah.
beautiful.
that.
You like I really wouldn't think you could put certain machines outside and make it look really industrial, but then at the same time have a dual use and it be a place where people come and sit down and work, things like that. Like it's like art sometimes,
He has to
looking
come to
at
us for his next deal, right,
yeah,
everyone?
absolutely.
Ileana, you got that one.
I think so.
So it's
Um,
really cool.
is
Anything else? What else do you guys want to add? What questions do you guys have? So, obviously we've been putting out some questions, putting out some content in these first two lives, but what we would love to do is in the future, we want to be answering questions. We want to be addressing kind of what's happening. Are you a small business? Are you looking to start? Maybe we talk through what we would do with you, what we would recommend, what neighborhoods we would recommend. Um, Ileana or Christian, do you guys have a question for me, or do you guys have a question for one another before we end today?
Hmm.
Hey.
Don't know.
No?
I don't know. Do I have a question? I have thousands of questions.
Hmm.
What's appropriate? No.
Anything is appropriate. This is outside the VRG. We're going to be authentic. We're going to be ourselves. We're going to be fun. So, yeah, ask whatever. I don't care.
Well, then tell us, I guess, how do you navigate some of the challenges working with tenants when you are waiting on maybe a lease to be reviewed or get comments back from an owner? Like, talk to the people about what that feels like. As far as because one of the things we talk about everything, a commercial deal can take quite long to close,
They do.
and so talk to us about how you navigate that.
So, I think the biggest thing, I always tell agents when they're coming into this business, you got to set aside 6 months. 3 months conservatively, 6 months if things don't pan out. The reason you want to do that is that, transacting is you're going to start doing the work to transact day one. I'm a believer that you set the footprint every 3 months for what your payments are going to look like, what your deposits are going to look like. So if you were the first 3 months just learning and reading and doing some education, you didn't put any bucket deposits into your bucket that month. Then you got into month 2 or 3 and you started to walk the blocks, you started to meet some tenants, you started to put out some feelers, or you're representing a space. That's when you're going to start to see the trickle, the little sparkle of possibly an opportunity to transact. After that point, our job as commercial agents in New York City, which is very different from other markets, whether it's a sale or a lease, our job is to get our transaction agreed upon to the point where it's presented to the attorneys. So whether the leases are drafted by the real estate attorneys or the sale contract is drafted by the real estate attorney, when we get it to that line, our job shifts. Then we become mediators. We become the people that are making sure it doesn't get fucked up. I'm just going to be very transparent. Where you have egos in this business, where certain attorneys want to put very hard, fine lines when they're presenting or countering deals. So if you're a commercial tenant looking, don't get disappointed that your lease negotiations could take 4 months, 6 months. I've had as long as 9 months for lease negotiation. But that was a bigger deal, right? There was a lot of money on the table. So imagine you're putting and you're going to be at risk of being liable for $1 million in income to a landlord. You want to make sure the provisions in your lease are going to protect you. So you don't want to necessarily rush the process. Now, as a broker, I want you to move it along a little bit because I want us to get to our finish line. But even after we get to our finish line, a lot of times doesn't mean we get paid, right? It doesn't mean we get paid on time. We obviously know, Christian, we close the deal Thanksgiving. We are still waiting for that baby check.
That's
you
right.
know, yeah, come on. If you're on this live, sir, run us our payments. So like as an agent, I'm a believer, like your goal should be to continue to deposit opportunities into your bucket every day. Every day you're not going to feel good. Like let's not be fake about it. Every day I'm not going to wake up and be like, yay, I want to do commercial because I'm so excited to wait 6 months to get paid. No, some days I'm going to wake up and I'm going to be like, I'm exhausted. I'm going to take a break that day because the
Mm.
energy you bring to the business on those days is the energy you're going to get back. And so sometimes that's not the day to interact with a client. That's not the day to, possibly talk to a lead because you may not be giving the energy that's necessary to get the ROI on what you want. So for me, if you're a commercial agent, if you're getting into the world of real estate, period, like what's your 6 months set aside? And then when you have that 6 months set aside, you might still see a trickle first. You're not going to see the rain come in, because the rain doesn't always come in every month. Sometimes in real estate, the rain will come in 1 month and then you'll have little dust a few other months. But the goal is in your life and in your business is to get consistency overall. The other thing is you got to be really aware of what's happening in the economy, in the business environment, and things like that. Me and Ileana yesterday decided to drive down into the
Yeah.
congestion pricing zone and get charged. Why? Because we have a listing, and we have a listing that the lease deal fell apart. Were we going to sit around and be listing collectors like I call a lot of other commercial brokers out here? No. We walked that block to see, like, what are we missing? We talked about the vacancies in the area. We talked about, what an owner may need. And then we walked into the place right next to our listing and talked to the owner who is very interested in our space. Why didn't we walk in there 6 months ago, right? Like, that's us not doing our fiduciary responsibilities to the listing. That's us not doing our job sometimes. So to me, if you want to succeed in this business, number one, obviously you're going to have to think a little bit more creatively about how you make money and think about bringing in resources in different ways. But long term, if you're building a business, if you're strategic stalking people, you're going to have all these new possible opportunities of business. In a year, you're going to look at this Rolodex of clients, you're going to look at this Rolodex of opportunities, and you're going to pick and choose who you want to work with, who you want to give your time to. The last thing I'll say, since I'm a little long-winded, y'all will learn. It's okay to say no to people. There are people who are not your clients. The moment a landlord is talking about somebody else got to pay the commission, I'm out. The moment they're like, oh, we're going to pay you a 1 month fee, I'm out. The moment they're negotiating my commissions, I'm probably not going to want the opportunity. Not because I don't want the deal, but you're already doubting my capabilities. You're already doubting my position in this business. And there are a lot of people who aren't going to. And sometimes you got to go where you're valued, because where you're valued is where you're going to be respected and where you're going to see the most growth and opportunity. So that's my personal opinion. I don't know what you guys think, if you guys want to add anything else to that.
No, I agree.
Yes.
It's definitely an investment.
Yes.
You're sowing your time, you're sowing a seed. Every conversation you have, every interaction you have, every connection you make on LinkedIn, it's all about understanding that it will come back at some point. You just don't know when, and you just kind of got to move with faith. So it does take a lot of faith as well.
Yep.
And not just faith in like a higher power, but faith in yourself. Like a lot of people just don't believe in themselves. So they'll really say like, I don't know if I can do this, or they start to doubt themselves and say, I've seen it work for others, but it's not working for me. It must be me. But it's not necessarily you. A lot of times it's just the time, and you're not aware of the time it takes for other people or for a process in general. Like we only see like this small
Mike.
window of what we're doing,
Yeah.
and we don't see the full timeline.
Yeah.
So it's really important for anybody in any business to understand that there are going to be challenges, like you said. Things will come in very scarcely, and then eventually, if you continue to do the same process and be consistent, things will pick up, and then you'll have those heavy rains. You'll have that pour down of the all of the success you've been waiting for. So
Yeah.
that's really it. It's just stay faithful, stay grinding, stay consistent.
And keep investing
Safe.
in it. Like, keep investing in yourself. Like that meme that everyone's seen of the guy digging the coal mine for
Yeah, yeah,
diamonds
yeah.
and stopping and turning around. That meme is true every day. Like, yeah, if you're digging in dirt and you keep digging dirt and you've been digging dirt and you're not seeing any inkling of opportunity, yeah, then maybe you might adjust. But sometimes if you in your gut know you're doing the right things, you know you're giving it 100%, stick to the track, stick to it. It'll come, and then you're gonna be like, God damn, that, did you see that deposit? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna keep doing this. And that's to me that's what keeps us coming back. It keeps us here.
Yeah.
So we're after 12 o'clock. Thank you guys all for
Thank
joining. Again, this is Virtuoso Realty Group Harlem team. We are going live every Tuesday at 11:30, talking about kind of what we're dealing with. I believe next week I'm no longer leading this live. It'll be one of these two that
Hmm.
will lead the live, and we'll talk about a topic that they want. So any last minute comments, thoughts? Get in our DMs, y'all. I'm gonna get in your DM. Are you gonna get in mine? I mean, hi. We're
What's
friendly.
the plan for the?
I don't bite. Well,
When
sometimes.
are we having an event at the office?
Yes, yes. So we switched the event day slightly because we just got the marketing material finished. We are having soup Society of Urban Professionals. We want all small business owners to come through. We want small business owners who have brick and mortar shops, small business owners who have photography companies. Dope photographer was just on here, Cash. She did my birthday photos, amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Delaria, all small businesses are invited. This is our first event of the year. It's going to be on February 5th, Wednesday, February 5th at 6:30. Here at the VRG offices, we are offering and going to provide food and beverages. Come through. I'm going to drop the link after this live. You can register right now. It is free, but we're limited to 60 people. 60 people for this event, and then after this, 25 people moving forward, because we want it to be real dope event where people actually meet, actually talk, actually connect. So VRG's soup events. See you guys next week.
So,
you.
bye.
Bye.
Bye.